Hello friends, welcome to my channel. So from today we will see a math function available in PHP. Here list of math function available in PHP. Some of math function we will cover in our previous session, and in this session we will cover some of math function with syntax and small example. So our first function is sqrt. This function is written square root of your number. Here is the syntax. Here sqrt function require one parameter number. After executing this function, it will return a float as a return value. Here is the example. Here we will pass our function argument is 9. So this function is find a square root of your number. So square root of 9 is 3. Here we will pass 25. So 25 square root is 5. Here our next function is ArrayInd, that means random number. Here this function is after executing it will give a random integer number. Here random function have two syntax. First is random function with no argument and second is random function with two argument. Here if we not passed any argument, then this function is generate pseudo random number, and after executing this function it will give a integer random number. Here second syntax is if we pass two parameter, first is minimum and second is maximum. Both are a optional field. Here minimum and maximum, then that means this function is generate random number in between minimum and maximum. After executing this function it will give a integer value. Here is the example. Here random function and we will pass two value, mean and max. Then this function is generate random number in between 10 and 100. Here random number is 37. Here second example we will pass 10 and 1000. So this function is generate random number in between 10 and 1000, because we will pass minimum value as a 10 and maximum value as a 1000. So it will generate 649. Here our next function is cos function. So this function is generate cosine number. Here we will pass function as a parameter number. So this function is generate return a cosine of your number. After executing this function it will return a float as a value. Here is the example. Here we want to find a zero cosine number. So zeroth cosine number is 1. Here we will pass 97. So 97 cosine number is minus 0.925 up to 41. Here our next function is arc cosine function, acos function. This function is generate a arc cosine number of your parameter. Here this function is require one parameter as a number. This function is generate arc cosine number of your this parameter number. So after executing this function it will return a float as a value. Here is the example. Here we want to find arc cosine of your 1. So this after executing this function it will return 0. Here our next function is sine. So this function is return sine of your number. Here this function is require one parameter, and after executing this function it will return float as a value. So return type is float. Here is the example. Here we want to find a sine value of 1. So sine value of 1 is 0.84 up to 79. Here we will pass minus 1. So this function is return minus 0.841470 up to 79. So this function is return sine number of your argument number. Here next function is asine. So asine, that means arc sine. This function is return arc sine of your number. Here is the syntax. Here asine function require one parameter, and after executing this function it will return float as a value. Here we will pass 1. So arc sine value of 1 is 1.5707 up to 49. Here our next function is BINDES, that means binary number to decimal. This is binary and this converted into decimal. So this function is convert your binary number into decimal number. Here is the syntax. Here this function require one parameter, your binary string, and this function is convert your binary string to decimal. So after executing this function, it will return float or integer value. Here is the example. Here we will pass 0011. So this is your binary string. So this string is converted into decimal. So 0011, that means 3. Here we will pass 111. So decimal value of your 111 is 7. So this function is convert your binary number into decimal number. Thank you everyone. I hope you have understood some math function. Thank you everyone.